Shred Shop. A couple things I want to talk about today is I want to start with alternate picking. I've had a lot of questions about how do I get fast on my alternate picking or my speed picking as such with my solos and my rhythms. I want to give you guys a little trick. This is the first thing I'm going to give you out of the gate is most guys typically when they try to speed pick, they flat pick. And what flat picking means is the pick is literally flat against the string when you're trying to get that speed. What happens is the string is giving off vibration. Your pick is basically trying to fight that vibration to get in sync with it to get the speed you want. So the easiest way to get around that would be tilt the pick. I try to tell all my students that, and anybody that comes up and asks the question, take your thumb, a lot of times just bend your thumb a little bit, and that puts a little bit of an angle on the pick. And also, you try to utilize the very tip of the pick, the roundness, and get as close as you can and stay on that string. Basically, you don't let that string get away from you in the vibration. So that's your first little trick. Instead of flat picking, try to put a little tilt on the pick and use the very edge. Okay. Also, when you're moving across strings, you typically want to play outside the strings or outside picking. What that means is if I'm playing the low E, I want to stay to the outside of the string or pick downward. If I want to cross to the A string, I want to kind of grab that on an upstroke. That's a good way to try to manipulate crossing strings without getting hung up there. Sometimes you get inside there, inside picking, where you're picking between two strings, and you clutter up and have a lot of problems there. Okay, moving on. I'm going to talk about pentatonic scales today. They're probably the most used in rock and metal that I can tell. What we're going to do is I'm going to explain how you make those and then how much of importance you can use those when you're trying to play minor or major. They're huge. So we'll start with how you make a major pentatonic scale. So first thing we're going to do is start with the A major scale, and we're going to play it in the second position here. Okay, what we have is we have A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A. Now, to make the major pentatonic, what I'm going to do is pentatonic means 5, so we have 5 notes. If you count the major scale, you actually have 7 notes, 8 if you count the octave. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take out the 8 and stop on the 7. Okay, now if we take 2 notes out of that major scale, the remaining notes give us 5, and that's your pentatonic. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the 4 and the 7. So we take out the 4th note, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to lose this note, and then we're going to take out the 7, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to lose the 4 and the 7. The remaining notes are your major pentatonic, and here that is. Okay, that's your A major pentatonic. Now, if I said I want to play the B major pentatonic, all I would do is go up to a B note, and I would play the same pattern. And there you have it. Okay, so now moving on. For the minor pentatonic, now the minor pentatonic utilizes the minor scale. It looks like this in A minor. Okay, now what I'm going to do there is I'm going to take out the 2 and the 6. So the second note and the 6th note. That looks like this. 1, 2, lose this, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to take out the 2 and the 6. The remaining notes are my minor pentatonic. Okay, if I said I want to play a G minor pentatonic, move it down to a G note, 3rd fret, low E. Play the exact same pattern. And there you have it. That's your major and minor pentatonics. Where they're useful is if you're playing rock, metal, jazz, country even, and you don't have the time to throw in a full major or minor scale. They're the easiest to grab, and they're most notable for making the voicings of that scale, major or minor. So there you have it. That's how you make the major and minor pentatonic. You'll see me use those quite a bit. I try to throw those in my patterns as much as I can just because they're easy to manipulate as well. So moving on. What I do have is I have some questions about chord building. The next lesson I'm going to get into from this one is actually going to show you how to build chords and extended chords and how to solo over top of those. Today I just want to talk about how do I make a major and a minor chord. Okay, what you need to do is you revert back to that major scale. We talked about that in the very, I think the first or second lesson I did. The A major scale, you're always going to use that scale, major in general, not A, but major in general. You're going to use the major scale to build every chord you're going to ever need. Here's how that works. If I'm going to play an A chord, okay, I need 3 notes of the major scale to build that chord. What I need is I need the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. So the first note, count that scale to the 3rd, which is a C sharp. and then count up to the 5, which is an E. I use the A, the C sharp, and the E. I put those 3 notes together anywhere on the neck, and that builds me an A major chord shape. Okay, so from there, I'm going to move into the minor. If I wanted to make a minor, an A minor chord shape, all I would do is I'd flat the 3rd. So I use the root, the flat 3rd, and the 5th. So here, the root note is A again. The 3rd is C sharp. If I flat a C sharp, means I push it down or push it back a fret, so it goes down in pitch. So C sharp, push back, is a C note. So then I have A, C, and the 5th is E once again. So anywhere I grab an A, a C, and an E note on the neck, that is my A minor chord. So, to make long story short, basically to make a major chord, you use the root, the 3rd, and the 5th of the major scale. Put those together anywhere, and that becomes your major chord. If I want to play a minor chord, I use the root, and I flat the 5th of any major scale, and that's a minor chord voicing. So, there you have it. Okay, on to the question section of my lesson here. A couple questions I have is, how do I know what notes to use in extended chords? Okay, basically, a rule of thumb is the chord name tells you what to do or what to use. So if it says, like one chord I use a lot is I use an E7 sharp 9 chord. Okay, and that's old Hendrix chord basically. Okay, well it's an E7 sharp 9, and this is something we'll talk about in the next lesson with extended chord building, but just to answer that question for you real quick. It uses, first thing it says, E7 sharp 9. It's an E, doesn't say minor, so we know pretty much right away it's a major. It uses the root, 3rd, and 5th of the E major scale. Now, one of the rules of chord building, if you hear somebody say I'm playing a 7 chord, it tells you to flat the 7 note. So I have the root, 3rd, the 5th, I have a flat 7 note, and then it says sharp 9. So I take the 9th note in the scale, which is going to be an F sharp, and I sharp that to a G note. And that's the notes I put in my chord shape. So I have the root, 3rd, 5th, flat 7, and the sharp 9th note in the scale, and there you have it. And as far as playing your solos, you basically want to work your scales around those particular notes. That's the best way and easiest way to make yourself sound good. So there you go. All right, moving on. Basically, the other thing, one of the funniest things I had ever asked me was, how do I play the guitar upside down? How do I play it, one-handed? How do I do these crazy things? It's a lot of practice, obviously, but one of the things I do is I sit and I practice, and I call it slaving the left hand. It's making my left hand legato stronger, and I can manipulate that in any way, and I've worked that up so that when I do it on stage or I do it in these videos and you see me do a one-handed thing like I did in the very beginning of this video, it just stems from a lot of practice and a lot of working out the legato licks. So what I'll do is, if you see me ever grab the neck over this way, all I'm doing is holding the string, so I kind of put a mute on there so I don't have other strings ringing out making a lot of noise. Now somewhat you do fight the gain or the distortion in the amps and delays and things like that. I mean, you are fighting those tones and nuances in there, but overall it's just a good exercise to sit. If you're bored at home, grab the guitar and use your left hand and just try to do as many pull-offs as you can, pull-offs and hammer-ons with the one hand without utilizing your right hand. So I'm going to end this lesson with a little bit of a lick out of that, using my left hand and maybe some taps, and just have some fun with it. So until next time, keep shredding. And if you have any questions, send me them to JoeRileyMusic@yahoo.com, or you can go on my Facebook. It's facebook.com/JoeRiley-guitars, and send me a question there or any of your comments. And I look forward to seeing you next time.